Hello, everybody. What is going on? You are listening to the Playing On Podcast. My name is Carl Markowski, and thank you for joining me. This episode is brought to you by Charm City Paintball. Are you tired? Are you tired of your tired headgear? Is your headbands getting worn out? Is your headgear getting shot up? Are you getting holes in your sandanas? Well, if you are, there's a guy over, his name is Mike, over at Charm City Paintball, who is making some awesome headbands, some head wraps. He's making tie backs, Velcro backs, all kinds of fabrics and design work. It's amazing. There's no sublimation. This is all pattern from all kinds of different fabric designs, but it's all canvas material. He uses this like stretchy material too, which is really nice. So if you don't want something that's so heavy, and it doesn't feel super bulky on your head, he uses that material too. But everything that he makes is usually in runs less than 10. So it's all limited. Everything that he makes is all limited. It's all hand sewn in the United States, down in Florida, by Mike himself. He makes everything. So make sure you give him a shout. Check out all of his stuff up on, I was going to say YouTube, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel, on Instagram and Facebook, Charm City Paintball. Tell him that Carl sent you over there. So thank you to Mike. We are also brought to you by Carbon Paintball, who has they have a free 6-pack thermal SC pod going on right now if you buy an SC harness. So if you buy, if you buy an SC harness, you get free SC pods, a free 6-pack. So that's pretty sweet. And if you guys, if you don't know who Carbon is, they are a company that makes a base layer, makes jerseys, makes pants, makes all kinds of cool stuff. I wear their base layer, which is a thermal top and bottom, or a compression rather top and bottom, that has integrated pads, and they don't go anywhere. I mean, that's the best thing, man. You know, when you're diving around, you're sliding around, and you're playing front, your arm pads and knee pads, it is essential that they stay in place. And if they don't, it's such a pain in the ass. I don't know how many times I've seen guys who are in the snake or getting in Doritos, and they gotta sit there and they gotta take a few seconds and they gotta move their pads around, and because they're off to the side or whatever. But with carbon pants, with the carbon bottoms, the SC bottoms and tops, you do not have that issue. They stay in place. They're nice and tight. I enjoy them. It's a great company. Make sure you check them out, carbonpaintball.com. If you guys have any questions about team sponsorships or any questions at all in general, make sure you hit me up, carl@carbonpaintball.com. And if you guys use the promo code capital TPOP at checkout, you will get 10% off your entire order. So make sure you check them out, carbonpaintball.com. And we are also brought to you by Planet Eclipse, who I believe have a nice, fancy new website up. And I'm looking at it right now. So they have this little weapon that came out called the Eclipse E-Mech. And I have been using it as much as possible because it's so much fun. Obviously, they have the CS2 out that is just killing it. But if you want to plink around in the backyard with a mechanical marker, and you want to compete with all your friends who have all these autocockers and fancy, really super expensive things that has a bunch of moving parts, go ahead. But you know what? I'm going to pick the Eclipse E-Mech because it's super simple, lightweight. It has a buttery smooth hinge trigger and is perfect for just getting out there and shooting guys with autocockers. So make sure you check them out, planeteclipse.com, and check out their new website. It's pretty fancy. So thank you to all of our sponsors. This episode, this guest is Nick Slowiak, and I've known Nick for a long time, and he has he has come into his own as far as the paintball world, and he's working for GI, he's working for GoSports. He is the social media man everywhere. I'm sure he wears more hats than that, but you know, his face is plastered all over the place, and he's been doing a great job with Maddie and Todd and everyone over there at GoSports at you know, bringing us the where, when, and how paintball, you know, competitive paintball of today. And Nick's a great guy, man. He's very relatable. He's been I played with him on Aftershock. I have I think that's the only team I've ever played with him on. But I've known him for years. And he has been doing so much for the sport. He now is on the GoSports Live podcast video thingy do that they have going on with Steve Rabikoff. But make sure you guys check it out. And enough of my babbling. Here is the podcast with Nick Slowiak. So is PUBG just like any other first shooter?
Kind of. So I don't know what game actually came first, but PUBG blew up and came up at the same time kind of as Fortnite. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, I heard of it.
But they're just essentially, you fly over a map and you drop in and you have the freedom to essentially kind of go wherever you want and loot stuff, and then over time the circle or storm closes and corrals everyone in the middle. It's a battle royale. Either 100 on 100 people, or as close to like 100 people as they can get, fight it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, cool, so it's all set. And then you can play teams 4-on-4. There's different event modes. It's just like the latest craze in games right now.
Which is weird though, because it's essentially just like any other first shooter, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's third person and first person, but it's more open world, and there's a bunch of different loot and airdrops, and I think it's just the maps are huge. They're really big, and there's no other game really out there that lets you just jump out of a plane and you can fly wherever you want to go and set up that strategy. As a survivor game, as a battle royale game, I don't know, it's addicting as hell.
Yeah, I started playing Call of Duty when I don't even know what number it was, but I started playing it, and I could definitely tell how addicting it could get, because I was just every day when I get free time, I'd be like, I'll play a couple games, which would end up being like 10 games.
Hours. Yeah. I mean, I always joke there's only a few things that I've only waken up early for. One's paintball and the other one's video games.
Yeah.
Like, we would wake up early in high school to go play Halo at my buddy's house.
Man. Yeah, then even before I had Cooper, I was playing the game, and then it just got to a point where I was like, a few hours went by, and it didn't even feel like anything happened, and I felt so unproductive that I just shamed myself into never playing that shit again. I was like, oh my god, I didn't do anything except for yell at a screen and people across the country for 3 hours.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm sure I will.
But I don't know. I kind of started getting. I probably wasn't even as deep into it as I thought I was.
You can get pretty deep.
Yeah,
down that rabbit hole.
Man, Jesus. And same things with Fortnite. Is that?
Yeah, Fortnite. Fortnite's more like cartoony, whereas PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, is like Call of Duty or Battlefield. We're using like real guns and bullets and shit, and Fortnite you can like build walls and buildings and set traps.
Yeah,
it's a little more like cartoony and kiddish.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I hear everybody playing that shit though.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always people like my age who is like, oh yeah, I gotta go home. I gotta play Fortnite, or I gotta play PUBG. Like, I don't have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm so out of it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I follow a couple of people on Twitch, and they've got There's three guys. One guy will go on, he'll get 120,000 people watching him at once. I mean, this other guy's anywhere from 30 to 40,000. It's just insane.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
And
but they make a killing off it, and they're making 6 figures a month.
That's what I was gonna say. So they just how? And people donate, or is it just like
they donate? And then, did you check out Twitch? Did you see Archie's stream?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do something like that, and they're just very animated, and they talk to people and they bullshit, but they're also very good at the game, so people want to watch them. And then they have stuff made up so that you can get their skins, you can get emotes. But when you go through Twitch and you subscribe to somebody and you pay for it, you're paying $4.99 a month. Half that money goes to these people. So, if these guys have got, you got 10,000 followers, 10,000 times 250 per month, you're making some coin.
That's so crazy.
So yeah, all to watch someone play a video game,
which they're doing probably, more than 8 hours a day. I'm assuming, or they might even be playing 8 hours a day.
Not even. I mean, I don't know that you can see what someone went on for, but this guy Shroud, he's playing Rainbow Six right now. He's got 20,540 people watching him. Yeah.
How many people do you get watching you?
I don't stream.
Oh, why not?
I've talked about it. No time. I'm gonna have to do it here at work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have room at my house, and I deliberately left my gaming computer and even my Xbox is here at work, so I can't play it when I get home.
So do you play PUBG on your computer? Is it a computer game?
Yeah, well, it's both. You can play PUBG and Fortnite on PS3 or PlayStation and Xbox.
Have the platforms crossed over, or is it still, if you play it, it's on this or
no,
it's on
no
this
crossover? Yeah. But it's essentially the same thing. The console lags a little bit behind on updates, but yeah.
So is work GI or is it GoSports?
It's both. Are you recording this?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. It's both. So
I feel like this.
I mean, I'm still doing all of the like a lot of the social media, customer service stuff for GI, monitoring all the channels.
Right.
And then GoSports, Darren Sesenia, the Iceman, is essentially showing me the ropes when it comes to just getting some of the technical side stuff down. No, no, I can't do that because these damn almonds are so good.
Yeah, are they flavored or just salted?
They are Maracana almonds, grown in Spain, roasted and seasoned with sea salt. This one little thing here, which is almost gone, cost me like $12 at Costco. Kirkland brand. Ooh, delicious. But yeah, doing GoSports stuff, like when you now at the end of the events, if you go to watch matches on GoSports, I'm the one that's chopping those matches up. So as soon as we're done tearing everything down late into the night, Sunday night, and fly back Monday down to Florida, I take the hard drives. I've got a whole setup over here. I've got 3 monitors in front of me right now, and I've got a whole I don't even know what it's called, disk drive set where I can plug in the hard drives. I have the hard drives pop up on a big monitor to my left, and then I go through the games and I cut them, and then I have to upload them to the GoSports website.
Right.
And write descriptions and do all that jazz.
So are they at least cut up game to game, or they're just
they're in big long stretches? Yeah.
Jesus.
And some of them are different. Some of them are shot. I never really knew this. Some are shot in different formats. Mm-hmm. So some of the games are huge, just raw files if you've shot with photography. Right. It's almost like raw. And so you have to do a bunch of stuff. You have to the word escapes me right now. Yeah, talking. That's what you're hearing. Yeah, I can't think of words. But you have to break the game, break down that file so it's smaller, so it can be uploaded to the site. Mm-hmm. And then while doing that, we're constantly looking for highlight clips and remembering notes and commentating with Maddie. We've got notes, and we're trying to do stuff for this week on GoSports and any show with the first looks, any content that we can take from the event. It's going through Arthur's computer's over here to my right, Rose's behind me. And we're trying to tie all of it in together, and then do GI projects, social media projects, field projects. Yeah, there's a lot. But
So
yeah,
you wear many hats.
Primarily just this one.
I
Except for when I
noticed that.
broadcast because Darren's like, you got to wear a GoSports hat. I'm like, but Finley's cool, and Jimmy gives me a hat, and I like to wear it.
I thought that was a Midwest hat.
No, this is a Finley one. Although I do have a black one. Aha. Is it? Booyah. Here's my Midwest hat. It's on my backpack at all times, just in case I need to, accessorize between
There you go.
green and it's a little dirty.
They should start putting chin straps on hats and have that. People wear that.
I think that's patented by somebody already. But who loses their hat? Why'd you need a chin strap for a hat?
I know that is.
So what's
true.
up? What's going on?
Nothing, man. Just same old. Just trying to get shit going everywhere, all around. Home life, paintball life.
How's your knee?
The knee is actually doing a lot better than what I was, but I'm not where I want to be.
Well, I want to be on a beach somewhere too with millions of dollars, but
yeah, I want to be 22 again, but I'm 32. I can't believe that was 10 years ago. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Time flies, man.
I can. I can definitely believe it.
I looked in the mirror yesterday, and I have gray hairs out of my chin.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I was like, oh, man.
I found a few on the top of my head.
I've had those. Well, I've had the ones on the side for a while, but that's in right now.
Everyone's going for that look.
I know. No, it's going good, man. I'm just, doing a lot. Doing jiu-jitsu in between playing paintball and being home and raising the kid, and yeah, just a lot to take in. A lot of stuff going on at work, so
that's good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe since you haven't had to take all those days off for paintball, maybe we can just fly you to Florida and you can be on the GI show.
Dude, I would love to.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to my people. You and Billy would get along because he goes to jiu-jitsu every day.
Nice.
I think every day. He always leaves the office and goes and wrestles guys.
Yeah.
And he talks about how easy it would be to kill me, and I go, I believe you. Don't fight me.
Yeah, I wish I could do it every day, man. That would be awesome. Like I'm probably at most 3 times a week, 4 if I get lucky. But
that's pretty good though.
Oh, dude, no, I would go every single day if I could. Honestly,
it's like yeah, I used to play paintball 3 to 4 times a week.
Dude, I feel like that's where it should be though. Like if and I've said this on the podcast a bunch. And I'm sure you heard me bitching about it, but it's like I really hope to someday see guys have all their worries of what they're doing is having to worry about playing paintball as much as possible.
Sure.
At least on the pro level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are people out there, right, that make that effort to try and do it as much as they can, which is encouraging because I see less and less players. I always say younger. Some of them are even older than we are, but because they're not at that division yet, they're always younger. They have to be younger, but they just don't have the drive or they don't have the work ethic.
Yeah, or the luck. I mean, if they haven't come across. I'm not saying that luck is everything, but it definitely has something to do with it. I mean, at least maybe not luck, maybe opportunity and recognizing opportunity.
Mm-hmm. That's big.
Yeah. So, congratulations on the ICC win.
Oh, thank you. I got a whole slew of guns below me.
Oh, I thought you were going to break out your 3D printed medal.
No, my daughter will not let me take that from her. Now that I have brought the nice necklace home, it's hers. So it cannot leave the fridge where it's hanging up.
You should put a magnet on the back so you can put it on the fridge and just keep it there.
Oh, she'll pry it off. She'll pry it off. Yeah, but those are pretty sweet medals.
Those are real sick. I saw one. I didn't see it up close, but I saw a picture of it up close, and I was like, "Those are 3D printed. Those are awesome."
Yeah, I mean, if that's any indication of how cool the event is. I mean, Tim did an amazing job. He, I just assumed it would kind of be I didn't go last year, but it would be a bunch of like the old 10-man guys I looked up to out there just drinking, and we'd be in a field and there'd really be no one around except for a couple fields that are thrown together.
Right.
And it was like a mini NXL event, but with the old guys drinking in a field. It was amazing. It was really cool, and Tim did an amazing job. It was if there's any event a standalone event that you can try and do next year, I would recommend the Iron City Classic, and then the other event I can think of would be Ion, the Invasion of Normandy in Pittsburgh or in Pennsylvania, just because there's 4,000 people there, and that's so many people you can shoot.
Jeez.
And while you're at it, why don't you pick yourself up a GMEC from Planet Eclipse?
Those are pretty nice.
Yeah, that's my
Have you
plug.
shot the EMEC yet?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
I heard it's nice though.
oh, so nice. It's instead of that slide trigger, it's got the hinge trigger. It just, to me, I would, if I had the choice, obviously Planet Eclipse, amazing stuff. But if I had the GMEC or the EMEC in front of me and I had to like play a mechanical tournament with it, so far I've had nothing but great play with the EMEC.
Okay, good to know. I was talking to Jack Wood over Messenger the other day, and he was giving me some trouble for using. I played one game with my free flow that I got from Buddy Bauer, like hand delivered. I played one game on the mounds, and of course the first picture that pops up of me is with that gun. So he's like, "Oh, looks like everyone at Xfactor loved their new guns," and I was like, "Ah ha ha." I was like, Jack, this would all be simplified if you just came out with an Eclipse autococker. Make a new one. Everyone's coming out with autocockers again. Maybe Eclipse should just, be like everyone else.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it would be worth it for how much goes into them. But there's so much more manufacturing, I feel, that goes into those than would go into a GMEC or
Oh yeah, I mean there probably is. I wouldn't doubt that they have the production of the GMEC and the EMEC and all those guns down to a science, but you have to want to be able to tinker, and there is definitely. I mean, if you look at what autocockers are going for now to what they were 5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge market. I think Buddy for free flow sold out of his fulcrums in like 2 minutes.
Nice.
And those guns are all priced minimum, I think, at $995, and then depending on the ammo you wanted or whatever extra parts, they went like up $100, $150, $200 more. And he sold out. Like lickety split. And he's doing all the guns, the Millenniums, the Fulcrums, full body, mini body. He's doing all that stuff. So.
Oh jeez, I don't. It might be just me, but I feel like an autococker is just a big pile of problems.
Well, that just sounds like you never use an autococker and you can't, and you short stroke the hell out of it. So it's okay. It's okay.
100%.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know, but I like the feeling of a mechanical marker when you shoot it and you have just that one ball come out and it's like, I did that. I want it there. I want it there.
No, absolutely. That's what I love about the autococker. I mean, the one game I played with the gun, the free flow at the ICC, I get up on a mound and I'm high and I see somebody. I see him and I rotate my turret. I come up about 20 degrees and chink, and you pull the trigger and you hold the trigger back, right? The back block just sits back there. And then I just saw the pink paint go, and I let it go and it goes, and I'm like, yes, that was a kill. It was just so satisfying. It's pink paint satisfying, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stains, but man, you're not, well, unless you're Danner, who cheated me and wiped a hit off his chest like I've never seen.
Allegedly?
Yeah, it's hard to, no, he did.
Oh.
He knows it. There was a bunch of drama in our game in the finals against AC Empire, or AC Dallas. I shot him in the chest and he cheated it. And then he wrapped and shot me a bunch, and the ref wiped me off, and I ran the flag in, and it was awesome. Anyway, yeah.
So that's how it went down.
That's exactly how it went down. You can watch. I've already seen the close up. I'm waiting for Darren to enhance the footage, but you see him as soon as you get to the corner, a hand just comes across his chest.
Oh.
Nothing there anymore. But hey, that's part of the game. It is what it is. I don't blame him for it.
I kind of talked about this. I kind of talked about it on my last last podcast I did about, like, somebody was talking about cheating and wiping and whatnot, and I've said that it's going to be a part of the game no matter what, no matter 15 years from now, 2 events from now, it's going to happen. A lot of the best ones that do cheat, you're not going to catch, and the only ones that are probably going to catch it are the cameras. That would be the only ones that would catch it. Otherwise, and see, it's such a different world now, though. because you can,
Sure.
knowing where the refs are and where they look and where the line of sights are, you can get away with so much stuff. But now having the
Absolutely.
cameras, it would be exploited in the next upload.
Well, yeah, I mean I think the big stigma behind it all, right, is the word cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's in football, I mean, there's what's not called cheating. I mean, the only thing you're doing, like so, what did if you're on the field of play, like I don't know, where do you draw that line? Because Tom Brady, did he cheat with deflating footballs or whatever? Was that cheating? And why was that cheating as opposed to when a linesman holds the other guy? He's committing a penalty. It's just accepted. It is what it is.
Right.
So it's interesting. There's this honor system or belief in paintball that you can't cheat, or you can't commit a penalty. So I think when you say cheating is just such a worse connotation than penalty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he cheated. Oh no, he just wiped off your head. He just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like he didn't cheat. He didn't go out of bounds. He didn't pull a Mike Bruno.
Yeah.
He stayed within the realm of play on that playing field. He committed a penalty. Did he cheat? No, he tried to get away with something. Whether he gets caught or not, that's on the referees. That's on the camera. It's on whatever system's in place to catch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like in playing video games, right? We were talking about PUBG and Fortnite and whatnot. People, there's cheaters or there's hackers. Oh yeah, those guys are they're breaking the parameters of the game. That's cheating. But is wiping off a paintball hit cheating? I mean, not if you get caught, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, I mean, it's a bending of the rules, right? Or almost, it's actually a breaking of the rules.
It is because, well, I mean, that's where you have to look at it. Like, if there's no referees, it's the honor system. I'm supposed to call myself out when I get shot and pull myself. But then you can argue, well, now if there's referees, yeah, it's their job to find the hit and call me out. And there's definitely people that play that way.
Right. Which I've done here and there.
Well, we've all done it.
But we've all exactly we've all done it. And this ain't airsoft, man. You
It is not.
Which I've never played airsoft, and I'll tell you, if I did play airsoft, I'd probably never come off the field. I probably would, but I wouldn't.
I mean, it definitely hurts. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember the first time Rennick had airsoft at Badlands. I watched a guy pop an airsoft pellet out of his cheek, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Ooh.
He just popped a pimple, and it was an airsoft BB just emerged. Nope. You drinking coffee right now?
No, this is peach tea.
Peach tea.
Yeah.
I
I like-
Arnold Palmer peach tea.
No, this is like I don't know. I think it's like a Earl Grey. Some kind of Earl Grey,
Okay.
like peach tea.
I just imagine you with a peach dunking it.
I do like peaches, but no, I like to drink something. I like to drink something warm before I go to bed, and then something when I wake up. I like to drink like a tea. I don't really like to drink coffee. I like to drink like tea.
Okay,
Calms me.
I like that.
Yeah.
My wife's big into tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, big one. The big one that I've been drinking for a while with her is dandelion tea.
Ooh, we have a lot of those.
Well, you should probably pull them from your yard. Those are weeds.
And make tea.
Yeah.
Are they made from the Are they made from the leaves or the?
I don't know anything about it. She does all the tea making. Every time I go to make tea, because I hate hot drinks.
Really?
I don't because I don't have the time for it. If I get a drink, I want to drink the drink. I don't want to have to sit there and wait.
What about room
And if it's
temperature drinks?
Oh, it's perfect. And I chug it. I'm drinking this 50 ounces of water. I'm going to drink this before we're done. I just drink it.
I'm doing water too.
Okay. All right. You water and tea? Clink.
I am water and tea. As athletes, we know how to hydrate.
Absolutely. But yeah, I can't stand hot tea. I like tea. I can't stand the hot stuff. So as soon as it's the right temperature for me not to burn my mouth, I just drink it all in 2 seconds. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" It's a drink. I want to drink it. I want to drink it. That's it.
What about pizza?
Ooh, man, I'll tell you what. After now moving to Florida, I have not found anything comparable to all the places in Chicago, and it's killing me.
Yeah.
It's also killing me because I'm doing this whole kind of keto thing, but not really doing the keto thing. So I have found I did eat. I had pizza. We did the BKI summer camp 2 weekends ago. It was awesome. and I had pizza, and I can tell afterwards I felt just terrible. I don't know if it was bad pizza, but yeah, pizza though, I like pizza.
Well,
Pizza
do you
can be
like it
hot.
Piping
It's
hot?
worth burning my mouth.
Okay,
Worth
that was
burning
my
my
next
mouth with
question.
pizza, especially deep dish in Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like a good pie. But I like thin crust.
Well, what kind of thin crust? Like New York style thin crust, or like, I mean, I don't know. In Ohio, I don't know what you have there. Like, you go to chains. Like, don't say you go to chain. Like, you go to like mom and pop
Yeah, like
place. What do you got?
there's a place called Turo's that is
Yeah, that's
actually
a good name for a pizza place.
Nick's cousin's dad's place. So it's really
Oh,
good. They have really good thin crust, and I like it's the crispy thin crust. It's not like the floppy big thin crust.
yeah. New York. Yeah.
It's gotta be
Okay.
crispy.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm not a hater on any type of pizza. I'll try it. I'll try it all.
Hmm.
Anywhere I go. But the only thing I don't like is Little Caesars and Domino's. People are like, you want to get pizza? I'm like, yeah, I love. Let's do a pizza, even though it's been like months. Like, oh, we're gonna get Domino's. I'm like, that's not pizza. No, I'm not kidding. Nope.
You don't want cardboard?
No, it's ugh.
Yeah.
Cardboard would be better. If I can I got a permanent marker over here. I'll draw a pizza slice on a piece of cardboard. That would be better than getting Domino's or Little Caesars. Yeah, Caesars.
So you moved down to Florida for your occupation.
I did. I moved to Florida in April, right after Easter. Packed up everything, drove down here, moved in. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale.
What
It's
were you
nice
doing
and
before
warm.
that?
I was just working in the Chicagoland area. I was working out of my house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only way I could, if we go back to 2006, I started working for ProCaps DXS out of a warehouse we had in Chicago or outside of Chicago. And then as the years went on, GI came about. There were two warehouses. GI got acquired ProCaps, or the way I look at it, it got them back because essentially it was Richmond and Opie, Sean, a few other people that are all this in the same. They all started in the same building. Richmond got rid of it. Then they all came back to the same building. Once that happened, we closed both the GI and the ProCaps warehouse in Chicago, opened up a new one, and then with the acquisition, when Tippmann went up for sale and GI bought it, then everything got moved to Fort Wayne. Almost everything. We had a small little warehouse we had before. It was just Pat O'Toole and I. And at that point, I was asked to do social media and marketing and just kind of work that front because no one was really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was really no need for me. The warehouse was so small that we only needed one person to be there to take orders and ship stuff occasionally. It was mostly just pick up orders from the Midwest region. And I just started working at home and then traveling to events. And essentially, what I do now, nothing's really changed. I just spend all my time in front of a computer on my phone getting notifications from, what do we have here? Let me open this up. I mean, we've got GI, GoSports, BKI, JT, Empire, Tippmann. Yeah, I'm plugged into all that stuff. So when something comes through, chances are that I'll see it in some way or another, whether it's a comment, a like, a share. I get all those notifications, and then depending on who's on what shift, where you'll get responded to by myself or somebody else.
But as far as the social media goes, you're the one in charge of everything.
Not really. I mean, there's in charge. There's like, it's funny. There's like not one person in charge of it, which is kind of nice because we've got such a good team of people going through all of our content and morphing it to what we need. But in the terms of being in charge, sure, I can turn my phone on right now and I can go live on GI GoSports and I can be going live with us. And there's I'm just gonna make Matt. If we say anything particular, I might make Rab mad and I'll delete it tomorrow and yell at me when he gets in.
What's Rab's position? I mean, what is he considered at GI?
I don't know, my boss. Well, I mean, he's got his hand. Rab has got his hand in so many cookie jars. He's been doing stuff in paintball for so long. From he worked for Dye and he built barrels, and he's done sales. He's done everything. So his official title, I don't know. I'd have to even see if I have an email from him that actually has what that is. I think it just says Rab. But he
I know
does
he's
stuff.
just guy at tournaments who is bald, who is everywhere.
No, it's true. I mean, he is tied in very tightly with all the event staff and coordinating who comes and goes to the events. He does that a lot with MB and oversees that. He what does he do? He does stuff with sponsorship. He does stuff with stores and fields. He works very closely with all the pro teams and their fields.
Mm-hmm.
He's up to date and up to speed on a lot of the products that are coming out. He's all the way down at the other end with Billy, but yeah, he's involved in just about everything.
They have the windows.
The windows?
Yeah, they have windows in their office. Looks like you just have walls.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I got one over there. It looks like glass, but that's a window.
To another room? Floor.
No, that's just outside. That's downtown Fort Lauderdale out there. If you could see it.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So how late would you be in the office? Are you just in the office right now because of the podcast, or is this?
Yeah, I mean, I leave most of I don't bring in moving. One of the things that I did notice too is being on my phone and my computer all the time, even when working from home was sweet. I mean, it's good and bad. Like, I'm a social person. I don't like just sitting there, and I definitely have like ADD or ADHD or something where I just can't. Yeah, like I have 3 screens in front of me, so I'm always like, even trying to talk to you, I'm still constantly looking at things and wanting to click stuff and whatever, do whatever. I got paintball guns everywhere I can touch. So working at home was great, but I'd always want to go and do stuff. My wife was a preschool teacher, and then once we had our daughter, her schedule would be she would leave super early in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, take our daughter to her mother-in-law, or my mother-in-law's, her mom's, come back between 6 and 7 at night, and want to spend time with me and do stuff. Well, I'm still, even at night, in the Midwest, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is 4 or 5 o'clock on the West Coast. There's still stuff going on, responding, and social media, the internet never sleeps. So, if you don't respond to people right away or have that presence, that's not good. Right. So I was constantly always on my phone and computer. So one of the things that I've done now with coming to Florida is I've left my PC, I've left my laptop. I never really bring it home unless I absolutely have to. So most of the times, I'll be here a little bit later at work to get stuff done, be it for GI, Empire, Tippmann, GoSports, whatever it is. Cruise the airwaves. And it's nice because the spot that we're in, I'm literally 2 miles north of the office, so it takes me less than 10 minutes to really get home.
Oh, nice.
It's not bad.
So, I mean, having a kid now, has it made it harder on you to be able to dedicate time to paintball, like playing paintball in general, not necessarily working because it's your job, but putting on gear and going out there and playing paintball? Has it made it harder to do that instead of like wanting to spend time at home with your free time anyway?
I mean, the travel, whether it's for playing or for an event that I have to go to, definitely is. I mean, I don't know if it's selfish to say, but anytime I have to put my gear on to go play, to compete, when it doesn't matter, it's funny, it doesn't matter if it's in the NXL or if it's the ICC, a 10-man, or, even doing a clinic, like that's when time freezes for me. That's what my passion is, playing paintball. I take my gear off, my thought's definitely there. One of the first things I do is I check my phone to see if I have pictures or updates from my daughter, see how things are going. I miss her and my wife very much, but it's interesting when it comes for me to play paintball, that's just everything kind of melts away, and that's once I get in my environment to do that. But yeah, traveling's tougher. It's definitely not. It's not the greatest. Just especially when they're young, and you just see how much. As I'm sure you're aware of, they can grow and things change in such a short period of time.
Oh my God.
From cognitive abilities and being able to walk and then talk and then putting sentences together, and then now, I mean, the things that my daughter says, I'm like, how did you even hear that word? Like, how did you know? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, but the one saving grace with that too is that my wife is very receptive and supportive in that area. And having Skype, having FaceTime, and all these different formats of being able to communicate via real time, almost, and just generally anywhere in the world,
right,
makes it easier. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing that you can really take away, or nothing that can equal to that one-on-one time, that FaceTime, the actual time you have with your your spouse and your kid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to get tougher.
Yeah, it's
because
gotten
now she knows. Like, I can't let her take me to the airport because my daughter knows I'm leaving. She's stoked to pick me up. She's like, "We're at the airport. We're picking up Daddy," and she wants to fly. She's like, "Can we go on a plane?" And if I say yes, like an idiot, like, "Yeah, we can go on a plane," then she gets really upset that I said that, and we're not actually going on a plane. We're driving away from the airport.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful.
Geez, yeah. I know my son's getting to that age right now where he's like just on the brink of like the verbal threshold of being able to talk in the same language as we do, because he has the few words down, but every once in a while he'll get into these rants where he's like talking fluent something, but it's definitely not English.
Oh yeah.
And we're just waiting to like boop, just everything kind of connect for him. But he's a madman. It's insane.
Oh yeah, it's your son.
And well, there is that, but it's crazy because I feel like ever since I started playing sports and not started playing sports, but started he was involved in when I would actually be leaving or coming back from events. Like I felt like I was behind. Ever since I would come home and I'd see him, I'd be like, "You look like a half-inch taller," or he said something else, or this. Like I felt like I was like missing all these pieces. And Bruno told me before, he goes, "Dude, they're young. You know, they're not gonna. They miss you, and then 2 seconds go by, and then they forget that you're even there, and they go do something else," which is
piece of candy.
Probably true, yeah. But just the more and more I leave, and the more I spend time with them, and the more like we take a lot of walks and go to a lot of parks, and we're involved with a lot of nature centers and whatnot. Like the more and more I do that, it's like I want to be around them so much more. And I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, 2 years from now, but I know it's probably not going to be like probably 3 years or so where I'm gonna my knees are fucking garbage anyway. So I'm old as dirt.
We're the same age, thanks. You ass. Well, I mean, just stop playing the front.
Dude, that's boring shit. That's boring to me.
Someone's got to cover your ass.
Well, that's for somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know. Man. I like getting really close. Like other people like to shoot people from far away and shoot their guns.
I like getting close too, but someone's got to do that job.
I know, and I give props to the people who do that or can do that. What, dude? Once front, always front. I will hang up my fucking pack before I start playing a corner for the entire game.
Oh, well, it's interesting you say that because I got brought on to Shock to play a corner. They're like, "Hey, we need someone fast that can run to a corner." And I was like, "That's it?" So I was like, "Yep." I'm like, "I can do that." And I would just run to the corner.
That was when.
Corner.
When did you first get onto Shock?
End of 2006. And 2007. 2007, I played my first event with them. 2006, I was like, all I was doing was driving to Badlands Saturday, going home Saturday night, coming back Sunday, and just playing with and against them.
Well, who were you playing for at the time? Voltage?
No, they cut me because they're losers. And then they turned into some Avalanche team that didn't do very well at all. They weren't very good. I was playing for Thunderstruck, and then we made when the first All-Star game happened. It's D2. When the first All-Star game happened, there was 6 events in the NXL that year, or the PSP, and the 5th event was at Rob Saunders Field, at MAO, and that was just the NXL All-Star game. A group of us, Damian Ryan wanted to play. So Damian Ryan, AJ Trillett, David Weinrob, Corey. There was a bunch of us that we made a team out of guys that have never played together, and we were called Denver Altitude. Adam Gomez. So a couple of the guys ended up going pro. Zach Patient. We made a throw together team. Christian Breesley. This is a guy that none of us had ever met, but he lived like 10 miles from the field. Puts up the entry fee. Robbie Goldsmith. Like, we make this team of guys. We got a group of guys from the South, a group of us from the Midwest, and then a couple of guys from Colorado.
Yeah.
And we go in there and we play, and we end up taking 4th. Like, we beat Voltage. We beat them in the prelims. We beat a bunch of good teams. We ended up losing to like Gridlock. We take fourth. And then after that, Denver Altitude had stopped playing, so we took their name for the seed points at Cup and did decent at Cup. And then we went into the next event in 2007. We won it, and then as soon as after that, I went pro, like officially. Like, yeah, I'll join the team. Let's do it. And so all these guys came into to Chicago to play Aftershock, and when they showed up, I pulled like the Oliver, like, oh hey, glad you guys are here. By the way, I'm playing for Shock now, so I'm gonna be playing against you, not with you. Go team.
See you on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Nice. How long did you play on Shock for?
Till 2012.
Really?
Till there was that one night in November.
Ooh, that was. Oh yeah, then the Houston Heat thing happened.
Yeah, it did.
So how did that come about? Why have? That's what I was wondering about. Why have a breakout event like the night in November, and then the following year have it be something completely different? Obviously, it worked out.
Well, that year
for the team, it worked out.
Well, for me, it did. For Heat, it worked out. For Shock, nope.
Were you happy on Heat?
Yeah, the first year, to a point. I mean, but I guess the stuff for the team, for Drew Templeton, for Chris, there a lot of stuff had transpired in 2011. There was issues with Jeremy. He ends up getting cut. We don't have a coach. Jake Whitaker comes in. That doesn't work out. Bruno comes in. Everyone on the team knew who Bruno was, and kind of just was like, well, we'll just see how this goes. I mean, it's whatever. He does the New Jersey event. It's the best we do all year. We still don't make the cut because of stupid rules. But Damian and Brad had come back and said that they would play with the team, even though the only thing that they were playing was with 7-man. They were playing with Legend. Mm-hmm. So like, wow, the band's getting back together. Like, we're getting the Midwest guys, everyone that's played on Shock, back together. We've got a really good squad. And then the sponsorship thing pops up where, Damian and Brad say that they cannot compete on a non-Empire team. And so they're now with Infamous.
Because that's who they work for?
No, this is the building blocks of them going to work for Key, for Empire. Mm-hmm. But they're playing with 7-man. They have their loyalties to Dennis and that team, which is great. But then they say, I think essentially before Cup, that they can't play with us. So that was a big blow. Damian, being who Damian is already in the ear of half the guys on the team about leaving Aftershock. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of guys felt that there wasn't a lot of commitment from Rennick and even from Bruno at the time. Going from what we had with Jeremy and the team and that kind of falling apart to everything being unsure, from rental cars to flights to hotels. Is it booked? Is it not booked? We know how is practice going to be? Are we going to have paint for practice? People were just kind of over that. And then Cup sucked. It was terrible. And 7-man was kind of our last hurrah. And with that, in that 2011 year, Randy Smith had come in and brought in Ryan, Ronnie, LJ, and Max to play 7-man with us. And he was also funding essentially a lot of us to come up to Canada and play in the CXBL.
Max?
I just went completely blank on his last name. Facebook, help me out here. Max, why did I just... It'll come to me and I'll yell it out loud in the middle of another... Yeah. But he was part of Randy's crew. And so we win 7-man, that's the stars aligning. Like, you're playing Dynasty in the finals under the lights in Vegas, end of the year. And we actually took fourth, I think, for the series. We actually did pretty good in 7-man that year. But,
nice.
Damian had talked to those guys and convinced them to join Infamous. And Chris, Zach, Drew, I think just those 3 left. And that was a big core of the team. And those 3 guys, Chris, I started playing tournament paintball with. Mm-hmm. So, that happened. Rennick had made the decision to pick up a good chunk of Boom, Jansen. I think he picked up Rob. Like, I didn't really even know who Rob was. I knew Chris, but he picked those guys up, and it was just essentially Cody and I, and Bruno, And I was like, you know what? I'll go with it. It's a rebuilding year. I don't think there's one tournament I played on Aftershock since I got on the team that we had the same roster. I don't ever think that ever happened.
Right.
And the first practice we had, it was just bad. It was really bad. I was like, I'm not doing this. And a good little buddy of mine had given me some insider info about a team that was forming, and he made the drive up to come see me about it, and I didn't believe him. And I had to make a decision, and I left Shock, and then I just took a shot in the dark to see if there was room on that team for me, and it turned out there was, and that was Heat. And next thing you know, I got a plane ticket. I fly into Houston. Chad George is there. I'm like, what? And then I get to the house, and I'm like, holy shit, there's Fedorov, Sergei, Mishka. We got Chad George, Sam Monville, Ryan, Ronnie, LJ. Yeah. Okay, this could work. I can do this. And then Heat happened, and it was amazing. And we were all awestruck, and we practiced. I think we averaged like 240 cases before every tournament, and we won, obviously, and we did really well, which is something no team's ever done. And it was great.
And
crazy.
I think that goes to show like what it takes to win. Not only dedication by you guys, but also a backing where you can play paintball as much. I mean, that's a lot of paint. That's a fuck ton of paint.
It wasn't. I mean, the first year wasn't bad, but I mean, if you were to look at everything there was no team or set of individuals that was working as hard as all of us as a collective.
Right.
We were gone for 2 weeks. I mean, the layout came out, and we were in Texas.
Yeah. We were essentially professional athletes.
We had a trainer come in. My friend Derek, who I was going to a gym with in Chicago, Randy flew him out, and he beat the shit out of all of us, and it was terrible, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. It was hard, but it was rewarding. And then things didn't work out as well in 13. We won We won an event. We won Chicago, and then in 14, our chaos came about. The Russians left, picked up Tim, Greg, and Ryan from Impact, and then I got cut the year after that because the Russians came back, and they went on and dominated with our chaos, won like just about everything in 2014. And then they're going to add Malloy to now, so there's 4 of them, and then stuff changed, and then floated around from there. But yeah, a lot of paintball.
Why do you think those 3 Russians have been so good? Or have been so good ever since they started, even with the beginning of the newer Russian team. What do you think made them so good? Was it just consistently playing and constant paintball all the time, or what set those 3 out aside?
I mean, just their training and then their basic understanding of the game. I mean, they have their muscle memory is just set. It's almost. I don't know what you can compare it to. I mean, a pitcher throws strikes. I mean, they throw strikes, and they throw strikes whether it's shooting on the break or snap shooting or laning, running and shooting. They just got those fundamentals down to I don't know if you can call it science, but just it worked for them, and they came up through that Russian camp understanding the way that they wanted to play. But then I know a big thing that set Fedorov apart, and then Mishka, and then especially Sergei being the younger of the group, and Malloy, is just they opened up and they saw the different styles that were played in North America and the U.S., and they embraced that, and they just made it their own. Mm-hmm. And they got really good, and they knew what they got really good at, from Mishka to landing on the break, Fedorov running and shooting, and Sergei just getting tight and locking stuff down. They got really good at it, and you put them together. If you look at the 2014 season, it's almost they were unstoppable.
Yeah,
they struggled here and there, but it was unbelievable to watch them play and just dominate. And they shit on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, not just fundamentally, but just decision making.
Do they go with their guts, their instincts? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've never really asked them. I've never asked Fedorov, why he reacts the way he does, but he sees things and he reacts to them. And I think that he's so above everybody that, that he understands situations in the lanes and where the bodies are on the routes, that he can gallivant, he can show off a little bit because he knows it. And that just to give you an idea, it'd be like me saying I have an IQ, whatever the IQ scale is, right? Say it's 1 to 100. My IQ is 50 for math. His is like 150. And so he can, you know what I mean? When it comes to paintball, he can take the time and he just gets it.
Mm-hmm. Has he
That's one of the ways I can look at it.
Has he taken advantage of that and been able to make a living off of paintball, or does he do something else?
I don't know. I know he still travels the world and he does clinics, and he goes to South America quite a bit. I think he's actually fluent in Spanish. But yeah, I don't really know. I know Mishka, I think for a while was running a paintball store and helping out with that. But I don't know what else Fedorov does. Really, there's still like international men of mystery. Like I have no idea.
Yeah, I was always curious of that. Like you look at some of the best players in the world, and are they making a living out of this thing, or is it just kind of a stepping stone, a nice comfort stepping stone, or is it just a hobby for them? Are they doing something else?
Probably both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anyone gets to the level where we're at now and hasn't made any money off of it.
Yeah.
If you're not, or you haven't figured out a way to what's the word? Franchise yourself, essentially.
Right.
Cut out that little nook. Whether it's, clinics or working in the industry, then that's, you're failing. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other stuff out there, but it's just, you have to make an effort.
I think
it's just like trying to. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think there's a difference too between making money with where we're at and making a living.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Because a lot of players out there are making money in many different ways, but I think very few have been able to make a living. Doing what we do.
Unless you're really working in the industry, or you're doing a bunch of clinics, or you have to be. There's a couple different things, right? And you can look at it based on teams. You play for Heat. You play for, we can say, Heat, Damage, Impact, Dynasty. Dynasty is the outlier. They've got people that are financially have finances and are paying players, right? With cash. They're getting paid with cash, and or guns and equipment to supplement that as well. Can you make a living off that? I'd say the only reason why I would say no now is because looking at most of the guys on those teams, they're the same age as we are, as you and I, and their life is gone on. But if you're going back 10 years ago and you're 22, yeah, you could probably make a little bit of living off that. You're getting subsidized by your parents if you're lucky. I mean, there's other things going on in life, and you don't need much. You fast forward to where we're at now, 10 years, yeah, you need a little bit more. You look at a team like Dynasty, they have a brand, like they have Field One, and they can use that. I don't know how much money they're making off of it, but yeah, that's something that team's bought into. So Ryan Greenspan is the at the precipice of that. He's the head, he's the face, and yeah, his paintball is his income. That guy travels the world, weekend in and weekend out, doing clinics, anything paintball related. And it's great because if you pay attention to what he does at Instagram and his Facebook, and he only does Instagram, he doesn't do Facebook. And you go to his website and you watch his channels. That's just where everything he goes and does is because of paintball. Mm-hmm. And it's just, if he can do it, and other people can, Oliver got to where he's at. Yeah, anyone can, but you just have to be able to work at it. Yeah, like you said earlier, luck, but you have to be able to seize opportunities, and you just have to find the drive to get to those spots, to those things, and you have to be willing to sacrifice a lot.
But why hasn't now, from when we first started, which is a long time ago, and even the Dynasty guys, the older Dynasty guys, or anybody older in the league, why hasn't it not become something where it could be life changing just to be a player and an athlete rather than being an outlier to be able to make money in this thing? I mean, there's money to be had in gaming and in snowboarding and all these other extreme athletes, or extreme sports rather, but for some reason it's always been cliche of professional players to be on this pedestal but not be able to actually make any money playing paintball, and everybody's, well, the money's not there. Well, the money's like is somewhere, and it's somewhere in all these other sports, and it's just like, why hasn't it changed? For instance, we've started.
I think the big thing I mean, you said a lot, and so I'm trying to like pinpoint everything.
Yeah, sorry. I
point.
sometimes
I
I
deal
go.
with this stuff. No, it's all good. I deal with this stuff all the time on social media. You know, that's the one thing that always. And I knew this was going to come up in talking to you, where people always say, "Oh, paintball's dying or stupid, and it'll never grow to be anything." I mean, paintball is young, and if you go back and look at any of these, if you extreme sports is fair to look at first. You know, nothing started out big. You know, whether it was skateboarding competitions or snowboarding, and these weren't massive events. But the one thing that they had was, I mean, they've always been looked at as just being something that's not going to grow.
Right.
You know, you can look at snowboarding and skateboarding as prime examples of like, oh, that's stupid. No one's going to follow that. That's dumb. And over time, and it took a little while, it built up and it became accepted. And that's one of the cool things I think about paintballs. Almost nobody has not heard of paintball. They know what paintball is. They have some idea of it. They know someone who's played. They've probably played. They've seen it on TV or a commercial, on a movie. So paintball is growing in that sense. But when it comes to the professional aspect of it, you look at the organization, and you know, you can look at it almost as like the federation. That's a big thing in Europe. The federation, or the look at the qualifications for the Olympics. That's like the one thing. Oh, the Olympics. So why, here we go again. Why isn't paintball an Olympic sport? It is just organization. It has to be organized. I mean, there's so many moving parts to what actually has to happen at a paintball tournament, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to strap a surfboard to my feet and go down a hill. You know, there's the judging, and the same thing as skateboarding. But there's so many other moving parts to what the game of the tournament side of paintball is, and I think it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and you look at now, people can say, well, look at esports. That's even, you know, younger than paintball, and look at where it's grown. Well, yeah, most kids get bought a console game very young. It's very easy and addicting, as we were talking about, to be able to play a game. It's relatively very cheap, and all you have to do is sit on a couch. And you look at the demographics. Like, I'm literally watching, like, Twitch is up right now. I'm not watching anything, but I can see that Shroud. If you haven't heard who he is, and I'm sure people listening will know, but he's a big streamer. He's got 21,704 people watching him play right now. Like, that's I don't know if that's ridiculous, but I think that's just crazy to watch him play a game. You know, we do the webcast. I don't think we've broke over 13,000 people at once, maybe watching a paintball game. And there's way more people that play paintball a year than 13,000 people. And this is whether it was free or not free. You can go back and use whatever metrics you want, but I don't think there's ever been anything even close to anyone breaking even over 15,000 concurrent viewers at a time watching paintball. And it's just the demographic. Look, we have to compete with. Compete with someone. All I have to do is go on my computer to watch someone play, and I know it's something that we're working on. We're messing around with Twitch and being able to bring stuff to people when it comes to paintball, but the demographic of people that are playing video games is the same demographic of people that we want to play paintball, if not younger.
Right.
And it's so much easier for instead of a parent having to. I'm getting that. You know, how easy is it for you to let you want to distract your kid? Turn the TV on, put a video on for them. You know, let them play with your phone or an iPad. Well, that's all people have to do now, and they've already bought these things and invested their time and money into them. Yeah, you want to play video games? Sure, go ahead. Oh, hey, Dad, can you take me to the paintball field that's an hour away and give me $100, you know, for the day for food and to run a gun and buy paint? Yeah, why don't you just play some video games online with your friends? And I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely see the appeal to sitting here and playing video games all the time.
Yeah.
So, I jumped around a little bit with that, but it's just in what paintball has to compete with now. The what's the word? Just the accessibility of other things to distract people, and the ease. What's the word I want to say?
Well, the effort. The effort going into
yeah. But you have to. And paintball's a special thing. I mean, you're going out there and you're actually trying to shoot somebody with something that hurts, and it's not. It takes. You gotta be a little malicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you need to learn a lot about people, especially people that play tournament paintball.
Yeah, there's consequences. There's consequences. When you go and play paintball, there's consequences. When you play a video game, the only consequence is that you have to start over. Like
Right.
you just you wait to start over. But with paintball, there's the rush, the pain, the walk back to the dead box. There's all this stuff that's involved, and I feel like video games, for as much as people love them, I think video games is such this short-term thing with long-term effects that just everybody gets so addicted. It's like fucking cell phones, right? It's like cell phones where we were just talking about how to distract your kid, turn the TV on or give them a tablet. But then so many people are doing that just so they can look on their phone and get on their tablet or watch TV or something. So it's this weird like little malicious thing that I feel we're getting so and this kind of ties into paintball too, but like we're getting so tied in as a people of this digital age, and I think we're kind of losing this want or what's the word I'm looking for, or this angst to get outside and like physically go do things. Desire. Rather than do that, we want this instant gratification of being able to play a video game, die, reincarnate or whatever, and just do it all over again for hours and hours and hours on end. And
yeah, I mean, why would I want to? And why do I need to go out and see something when I can just type it in on my computer and I can see it?
Yeah, it's absolutely ease of access, and I think that's where paintball just doesn't have the upper hand, because it's you have to physically take your ass outside, and do something. That sucks to say, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely part of it. I mean, it's something as GI and GoSports we're looking at, and how do we
overcome?
How do we take? Well, yeah, I mean, how do we take? We've drawn up a PUBG Fortnite game that we would create. We would go somewhere and build an arena and try and get people to play a game like that to see if, you know what I mean? How do you harness those people and get them off their computers to come out and play? And it's, people say, well, make paintball cheaper. I mean, paintball is cheap. It's not that much money to play. The one problem that we've done to ourselves as an industry and as a game, and this is where ramping guns went away, is one, ramping guns are intimidating as hell. Right? Yeah. It's scary to a new timer. And people have to get this idea that tournament paintball is the end-all be-all of paintball. It's not. It's creating a different format. We just played, case in point, we just played a 10-man tournament, and we had 53 teams, and last year was 17. There are over 600 players that came out to play 10-man, a mechanical, for the most part mechanical or capped at 5.5 game. And everyone loved it. Everyone had a blast.
Yeah.
The format, the game style of paintball is dramatically changed. Everyone says, well, paint's expensive. Like, well, you don't need a case of paint to play paintball. You have to change your thinking around. Like, if you went out there and everyone, in the rules, this is sort of like M500 in a way, if everyone out there and played with a loader and that's all you can get, you wouldn't be blasting paint. If you went out there and played with a mechanical gun, you wouldn't be shooting paint. Like, I guess if I could look at it, people have always said, well, what's the solution? Let's do away with ramping guns. Let's do away with national events and rebuild the structure of tournaments from the ground up.
Yeah.
Of playing competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. You know what? No more ramping guns.
Yeah, no, I agree. If anything, like you said, start over and see what works, because but the thing is it like we have to find that happy medium, right? Because for us, what might be fun is going and playing these events, but it's still is it intriguing enough of people for the first time watching that, with it being even like slower of a game? Is that going to be as exciting as watching, somebody shoot really fast? And is that as intimidating as it would be somebody watching a slower match kind of unfold and be able to comprehend that?
I mean, the people that watch the games and are the people that are invested into paintball.
Right.
I think that's one thing that people don't get, is that, well, how come no one likes watching this? It's boring. It's boring to watch. It's boring as someone who understands it to watch. The one thing that we really need to do is, I want someone to be able to watch a game of paintball, and it doesn't have to be a game as a tournament. It doesn't have to be an NXL. It doesn't have to be a 10-man event. It has to be paintball in some way, and go, I want to go play paintball.
Right. That's
the win. It's not, I want to go play tournament paintball, because I don't think anyone goes and sees people do that and goes, oh, that's sweet. Or they see someone get blasted a lot, and that's intimidating. I want someone to be able to see a guy in a paintball tank at Ion driving around shooting people or shooting Nerf rockets, or getting all dressed up, and there's that milsim or cosplay aspect to it. I want someone to be able to see a game of paintball being played and go, I would like to go try that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, I think that's a problem that a lot of people have, is they think it has to be tournament paintball. And that's where a lot of our focus is, right? It's, you want to watch paintball being played, you got to pay for the webcast, and you got to watch tournament paintball, you got to watch the pros play. And sometimes it's really boring. But the only people that's are interested in that are people that play tournament paintball.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's more times than not it's been really boring. I don't know if it's the fields. I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it has been terribly boring as of late. And I've had to watch a lot of paintball on Sunday, unfortunately.
I hear you.
But I don't know why has it come to that. I mean, obviously, paintball players have gotten better. I wouldn't put it on the guns being better. I think guns have always been, if anything, they've shot smoother or softer or whatever. I mean, paintballs have always flown straight. If you have good paint, and everything aligns. But I think just paintball players have gotten so to a point where nobody wants to make a mistake or try something anymore, or everything is so already set in place and in line because of the relentless weekends of practicing and practicing said tournament field, that it has now become like you're not creating anything at the moment because you're not taking that risk because you know that it won't work, rather than figuring it out at the tournament. And that's where I think a lot of the fun stuff to watch and the intriguing stuff is those times of being able to create moments and really figuring out a field at the tournament, rather than practicing it for 2 weeks and really honing in on bounce shots and all this other shit. Like, for me at least, it was fun to really like figure a field out and play it out and find all those shots and be the first to be able to, like, oh, shot this because the guy had no idea, but now you go to take that shot and the guy already knows that's a threat, so he doesn't even look that way or do this. You know what I mean? So it's
no, for sure. I mean, that definitely makes sense, and that's come up in the topic of discussion numerous times. I mean, but the big thing you said there is take the risk. Well, why do you take the risk?
Well, whether or not it's good. Well,
what's the other R word?
A reward.
Exactly. You have to be rewarded. So the game has come to a point now where the good teams that have consistently been the good teams know the system. The players know the game. That depending on the layout and depending on situations, that if you put yourself in this spot, that's how you're going to win. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you play the layout, you learn these things. You play other pro teams, you see other people's looks, and you develop your own style and play to the game. And then you get tested, and you do what you have to do to win. And it's interesting you say that, because I've found, and I'm going to be talking with Maddie about this next week, is that over the last 2 years, it's been interesting to watch when teams get down and the clock's ticking down and they have to go. And you see those very uncharacteristic breakouts and moves, and how well a lot of these teams have done by just doing it.
Dude, that's like the last 2 minutes are the most interesting part of the matches, if it's close anyway.
And it's like the question is, well, why, if that team had been playing like this the whole time, this aggressive and making these moves and taking that risk, then they'd be winning, because the team that is the better team, and you could just say Impact. You can just say Impact, and then you can use PC Katana as examples. If they play probably a bunch of times, Impact's going to win. But when Katana gets down and they have to go, and they do, and a lot of teams are like this. They're a great team, and I'm not trying to say Katana's is terrible, but it's just to look at two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Right.
And that's the risk versus reward. There's no risk, there's no reward in doing that early, and that's where, again, if you change the format of paintball, you have to provide some sort of reward for doing that. And how do you alter the game, on the tournament side of things, to do that? Is it if you score 2 points or 3 points in the first 3 minutes, you're rewarded with something? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different ideas on that, on how to change it. It's just.
Do you think the professional players should be involved in that, or do you think that's more of?
Yeah, absolutely. It should. I mean, I know. I mean, I've had Tom Cole. Every time I'm with Tom Cole, at events somewhere. He's asking questions and he's listening. And the one thing I will say is that all these people are tuned into what's going on online. They read it, they see it, whether it's PB Nation, Facebook, Instagram, they're seeing it. And I believe for the most part that the interest of the game is involved for the future and looking at it and making it more exciting, not so much just for like, say the webcast or television, but just for the baseline enjoyment of the game in general. I mean, if you look at who's running the league and who's doing this, it's people that grew up playing paintball. Like they have a passion for the game. I mean, it's a business. Don't get me wrong. They want to make money at it. I mean, and I would too, especially if I've been doing it, double what we've been doing it. And these are guys that aren't playing, but if they generally didn't like the game, they wouldn't be around doing it. They'd find something else.
Right.
So, but I mean, we have this discussion all the time about what we can do to change things. And I don't know, who is it on? Is it on the league to do that? Is it on the industry to kind of reformat what the game is? Is it on fields? To reinvent games. I mean, what kind of format you come up with? And this again, too, we're leaning back towards tournament paintball. I mean, you and I played tournament paintball, but I'll tell you that some of the most fun I ever had is going out there not playing tournaments at all. This is playing in the woods, playing for fun, doing a simple elimination game, but one where you feel most comfortable.
Right. And well, let's say now on the tournament side, you get paid a salary, a living salary, and then you get bonuses for winning tournaments, and that's not it's a job, but it's something that you love to do. That's all you have to worry about is playing paintball. And with that team, you can get bonuses for winning tournaments. Now, does that become fun to do? Because now it's something that you've been putting your blood, sweat, and tears and knees and everything in for your entire paintball career since you started. Now, does that take precedence in something that you enjoy doing? Because there is something to actually work for or towards rather than, I don't know what the budget is for the NXL or what, but having something like winning something like an event, I feel like at some point should be not with 10 guys it's gonna be life changing. But I mean, even if you had one guy win 12 grand, I mean that's something. But
that's not bad.
But for 10 guys or 8 or whatever you have, I mean that's nothing, especially if it has to go back to the owner of the field.
Right. But I mean, if you look at how many kids growing up that play, whether it's baseball, soccer, football, hockey, are like, their parent. Your parents introduced you to a sport that they had some tie-in with. Right. Like for me, it was baseball. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. For you growing up, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I played baseball.
All right. So you get your kid involved, and they either like it or they don't. Or they find another sport and they continue to play it. They continue to pursue it. Mm-hmm. I don't know of any kid. I mean, at least for me, I wasn't like, wow, I can make millions of dollars doing this. Okay, I'm going to commit my life and all this hard work and these sacrifices and all the drama and everything that goes along with it into doing this, just so when I go pro, if I do, barring any injury or life-changing event, I can make millions and then I'll be done. I think everyone does it for the passion of the game, and that's where the demographic of paintball compared to tournament paintball compared to every other sport, it's you can't even compare them. There's not even a comparison. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense to do that and go, well, I mean, these sports are that much bigger and they work out. Well, tens of millions of kids are introduced to something like this, and if you just take of the tens of millions of kids that play these games from when they start, and there's that system in place to help them build up. You take 2% of that, and I mean, how many people make it to the NFL? What percentage of players? And they have to go from, and I never played football, so they have to go from peewee to whatever it is, then to high school, and then to college, and then if they don't make it to college, there's a semi.
Look at baseball with the AAA, AA,
And then even then you're not making anything, and you want to ask if it's worth it. I mean, the only thing that
but you're making a living.
Are you?
Well, let's say
from what I've seen, man, some of these guys aren't making jack.
Well, Toledo has a hockey team called the Toledo Walleye, which is a feeder team for the Griffins, which is
another feeder team
for the Red Wings. And I mean, for those guys to be able to do that, I mean, they're practicing. They have to be practicing as much as the pro teams are. So they have to be making a living. If it's anything, I'd have to say maybe 50, 60 grand, if that. But that's a living, and they've made it to that point, right? So I feel like with paintball, it's, you know, and even let's go back to baseball, right? So you play baseball and you're halfway good. Let's say your team's winning and you're doing something. Let's say you get picked up by a college. You're still being driven by passion. But
no, for sure.
But at some point, when you recognize your ability, or not necessarily you recognize your ability, but others start recognizing your ability, then you kind of start thinking like, hey man, if I really work at this, this could be life changing. Because if I do make it to even, let's say I even get drafted, I mean there's a guaranteed payout, right, of being drafted, of making a living, because you are now being dedicated to playing said sport or whatever, and you're getting paid for it. But with paintball, it's so fucking like, you hope to get kids now, I feel like, hope to get picked up by Houston Heat or Impact or who this. There's no more like, you know, man, I want to play for Aftershock. That's what I want to do. I want to play for Aftershock, and once I get there, like that's the goal, right? But now I feel like it's they see these other teams and like, oh well, guys are getting paid here and getting paid here, and these guys play like shit. Like the names almost don't mean anything anymore. I feel like everybody wants to get paid, but I feel like I'm hoping eventually, once you do make it, you're sacrificing all this time and sweat and tears away from everything. Once you do make it, you should be compensated in some way. And I'm not saying your gear and your flights are paid for. You're still like, that's not a living. That's you're getting, you know, compensated in that way for a hobby that you do well. It's not you're not relying on that to make a living. But some people are.
I mean, well, it's just, I mean, the big thing that's coming into play here with what you're saying is just the monetary value, right? And I've never put a monetary value on paintball. To me, it's just the competitive side. I've always been competitive, and in playing paintball, that human chess match of being able to outsmart someone and shoot them, and then knowing that when I shoot them, depending on where I shoot them, it can hurt, and I can say I'm better than you. And then being told that I wasn't driven enough to play inspired me. So for me, the value comes out of it when I step on the field with my team and I know I'm playing the best players. That's the value for me. That's where there's the payoff. I've gotten to the bonus now where, working in the industry and playing professionally, I've gotten money off that and I can make a living. But that's where I think it has to be with a lot of people too, to be a competitor. I mean, you see, you go to basketball or baseball, some of the greatest, whether it's you're talking about Frank Thomas or Michael Jordan or whoever it is, but to be able to say that I played on the same court as the best people, I made my way to the top, got whatever I was getting paid. And I'm sure it gets to the point where some people are all about the money, right? Mm-hmm. But I got, when Kobe first stepped on the court against Jordan, do you think he was really worried about how much money he was going to be making that year? No, he was like, I'm on the court against Michael Jordan. Whatever Michael was to Kobe, that's who he was. But I know when I first stepped on the field against Oliver Lang, it didn't fucking matter. Nothing mattered. I think that's the side of it. There's going to be that side of that human part of you that's is about money. You're going to get to that point, where
I guess that's what I'm saying. Because
money's going to come into effect. I'm sure it was with all these guys. But if you look at what the average age of these guys that have made it into the NBA, that go pro in any sport, you're looking at late teens to early 20s, and the majority of them aren't making that much. They're making the league minimum, and they have to earn their way up. Right. And I would guarantee you that they're not about, probably just, I'm not making enough money. I made it pro in the NBA. I'm not making enough money. I'm going to quit. This isn't worth it. After everything I just went through. No, they're going to want to get theirs and get on the court and compete against the best and show. And if you're driven enough, show everyone what you have. Yeah. And I that's the hope, at least. I mean, if you did all that for what are you doing if you went that far and didn't have that.
Well, you're
desire.
in it for the wrong reasons at that point. I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, it's ludicrous. I mean,
when I first started
I
playing,
can see it though.
Well, yeah. But when I first started playing, that's all I wanted to do was play against the best. I mean, that's all I still want to do is play against the best. And the whole reason I bring any of this up is because it hurts. Because I remember when Maddie had this conversation when he was like, "Man, I really," and I said this in the last, I believe I said this in the podcast with Thomas Kim, and he was telling me like, I'm glad that you are going to be a part of a generation that are going to get paid to do what I've done for my entire career. And I thought about that and I was like, that's awesome. Like, I can't believe paintball is going to get to that point, which it did. Not until I played for Avalanche was I actually getting a pay, and that only lasted a year. And then that was such an amazing feeling. Like, you really felt like a professional athlete. Like, I felt like my hard work and dedication that I put in has finally come to fruition. And obviously because I can play against the best in the world, that was amazing, and that was a goal of mine too. But now to get paid for something that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing, was just the cherry kind of on top, where I didn't really have to think about anything else. I made it.
It's funny you say that, because it was like the opposite for me.
Yeah.
Like, I got an Aftershock, and I wasn't getting paid, but I mean, building up to be on that team, I would literally collect all the leftover paint from the squad so I can play. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh my gosh, I made it pro. I don't have to pay for paint. I can shoot as much paint as I wanted, 15 balls a second, full auto, and that's it. I didn't care about any of the money. I didn't care about guns or gear. I just wanted to be able to not have to, like, kick or lift open paint boxes that were in the trash can. So I could have a half a full pack. Yeah, and then, making it on heat, when we actually got paid, like legit paid, it didn't mean anything to me because I wasn't playing. I was just sitting there. I was like, I'm getting paid money to not do anything.
Oh, situations, yeah.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, like I was the way it was treated, the way Randy did it. The last year I was on the team was like, you had a salary, you were getting paid, you were getting gear, and I was like, this has got to be the closest. I remember thinking this after he told me everything I was getting. I was like, this has got to be the closest it could be to being pro. Mm-hmm. It's like a true professional. Well, at least in our culture, the way it is, to be like an NBA player, or a basketball player, or a football player, any of that, where I've got my endorsements from my sponsors, I've got what I'm getting from my team, I've got my contracts, I've got all that. But that year in 2014, it felt like I was not even close. Because I wasn't competing. I wasn't playing against the best in the world. And I would have traded everything I got in from Heat in 2014 to play, a quarter or half as many points as I did throughout that year. Mm-hmm. It didn't mean anything to me. Yeah, I used it, and it was fun, but not to not be able to compete, to sit there on the sidelines and watch, when a year before I was out there just about every point playing and beating those people. Yeah, I would trade all the money in the world to be able to go out there and do that. And what we're touching base on, it just depends on people's outlooks, coming up from whatever background they had to, their life circumstances and where they've become. People value things differently. And you can, if you pay attention close enough, you see how those things affect people and how they grow and their character changes. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and this was 2007. I started playing pro in 2005.
Yeah.
So,
Titman Effect, right? Titman Effect was pro, JT All Stars, something like that.
Yes, we were playing. No. We played. Maybe it was 2004. No, yeah, it was 2004, because 2004 I played NPPLs with Titman, and we went pro that year. And I was like, oh, this is I wasn't getting paid or anything like that. And I was like, this is awesome. So I started playing pro in 04. Didn't get paid until 2007, and then I felt like I was an actual athlete, professionally, paid athlete. But I mean, I definitely did not do it for the money at any means. But you take your situation and then put it on somebody who was playing or starting, and that could have made them work harder, because now you know, let's say the season doesn't go well or they don't have a good season. I mean, it could go away at any point. Well, it could, regardless, it could go away at any point. But it's like, in some instances, people will take that and go, okay, well, I've made it now. Now I have to work harder to hold my own and prove my spot. And then in your situation, you could be like, well, what the fuck? I could care less whether or not I'm getting paid. I want to fucking play.
Yeah, no,
You know?
for sure. I mean, it's all about perspective, and there's so many different ways to look at it. Like you said, I mean, these are all games that we play that are sports, whether they're major sports in the U.S. or not, but they're all there for entertainment.
Right.
And they're businesses, and you know, the U.S. goes to war with Russia, or some idiot blows off a bomb or creates some chaos, or you know, an asteroid hits the Earth. No one gives a shit about any of that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything changes, you know,
Yeah.
and that's on a global scale, you know.
Mm.
Something can just have, like you know, hinted at, something can happen in your life and everything goes away.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to take into account what's important to you. So, yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a long subject, but I think we can call it a wrap, man. I gotta.
Want to call it a wrap? Like,
Yeah.
Like a chicken wrap or
Like a
buffalo chicken? Oh, like a cut it out.
Like a cut it out. Like how about get me down there and I'll be on the GI podcast.
Hey, you know,
what is that
I will
called?
talk. So there's a couple different things that we're trying to do and really expand them. You should see there's this door behind me. If I were to open that up, we have the hallway all the way down there. We've got a studio.
Mm-hmm.
If I had faith in my internet connection, because we've got like 4 different Wi-Fi's
Right.
in this floor, I'd take you down there, and we're building out this whole studio. It's going to be pretty badass. We use it for a couple of our GI live shows we've done. We're looking to do GoSports GI on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, where we have content being pumped out for people to watch. Both, right. I know, for GoSports, both free and behind the paywall. And then just bringing people in and talking whatever it may be.
Yeah, fly me down. I'll be there.
Okay. Just let me know at airport. Well, I don't know where you fly out of in that state of yours.
DTW, baby.
That's Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit's 45 minutes from me.
Oh, I don't know these things. My geography in that region's not much. Like, once I hit, trade my gun to Plex, yeah, you're too far east, even though I live in the southeast.
It's pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about it.
Sweet, man. Well, thank you for doing this, and keep pumping out the content. And it was a great time. I had a great time.
I'm glad. Maybe I'll see you on the paintball field sometime soon.
Yeah, maybe if I stop being a little pussy about everything.
Well, you know, spread your legs and shake all the sand out.
Dude, having shit knees is no joke. Like,
dude, again,
oh
it's funny. I mean, you say that, and I mean, I count myself so lucky that I haven't, and I know I have, because I know there was a time when, I'll remember this, and it was 2006 or 7. I was working at the ProCaps warehouse, and my knee would buckle, it would give out, and I was like, "Yep, something's not right, but I'm not gonna go to the doctor. I'm not gonna find out what it is.
Yeah,
it's just gonna fix itself. Come on, Wolverine. Come on, just heal yourself."
Yeah, and back then you would just shake it off. It wouldn't really be that big of a deal. You in a couple of days, you'd ice it, you'd kind of get back, you're good. Now,
yeah, you know, hey, when I did that, yeah, it wasn't that way. I mean, yeah, it still hurt. I mean, I've been lucky where the worst thing I've actually done is when I was playing Barcelona a few years ago, I broke my thumb. That was it. My thumb got caught on the turf, snapped backwards, and I broke it.
Did you tear
up?
I
haven't. No, I got pissed, and I went out there and played the next point, and I ran both those points. I ran to the snake on the break, running and shooting.
Of course.
Yeah.
And your thumb was just flapping in the wind.
No, after the adrenaline, I was the first point, I was like, yeah, that hurt. Something was not right there. And I was like, all right, we gotta go back out there. I pulled it, yanked down. I was like, I can move it. It kind of hurts, but whatever. Second point, the first point I did it running, shooting left-handed, break my thumb. Go out there to the next point, right-handed, running, shoot the snake. Put my hand down. I was like, okay, yeah, that's not good. And then I just was like, okay, if this really hurts, we need to win, because I'm running the snake on the break. So obviously something's not going right. And I shoot like a guy or two, and then I get shot. And I immediately just walked into the pit, took all my stuff off, and went straight to the emergency tent. I was like, you need to help me out. It's like, yeah, your thumb's broken. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't really had too many injuries. Probably the nastiest looking one is I have a pretty good scar. You probably can't see it.
Yeah,
but right there.
That. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was from a broken steak that I just came down on, and I was like, it's one of those where it's like it's so deep that it doesn't bleed. It's just white because of just all the meat and everything. But,
Yeah, I saw that at an event recently.
oh, it was terrible. But the whole knees thing, that really hasn't affected me except as of late. And it's just it's no joke, especially with how I play and the position that I play. It's not good. But
Yeah, no.
but I'm doing better. I mean, Chicago and World Cup should not be a problem. That was wood I knocked on.
You're playing Chicago?
Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows?
Right, well, I'll be paying attention.
I'll just magically show up. If you guys ever have me up in the commentating booth again, you'd think I would have said a cuss word live or something. You guys just shun me.
All you have to do is show up.
And, I make eye contact with you while you're up there.
When you were at the last event.
And I mouth you.
What was the last event you were at, Carl?
Up there.
Carl, what was the last event you were at?
I don't know. The one that was before the last one.
Which one was what? You weren't in Texas. You weren't in Atlantic City.
I was in
you
Texas.
You weren't in Vegas. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
You were in Texas this year.
What was this last event?
Atlantic City.
Yeah, I was not there.
Yeah, and you were in Texas?
Yes, and I was in Vegas, and I looked at you both times, multiple days.
You were not in Texas.
I'm 100% in Texas.
The Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, in the Dallas. Did I pay?
Play.
Oh yeah.
Why don't I remember you at all?
Because I probably played like shit. I got died a lot.
You sure you're not talking about last year?
No, I'm pretty sure.
How long you've only been out for one tournament with your knee?
Meter was on the team. That was when we had Meter and Pax. I think Pax is still on the team. Yeah. So.
Tell me, I don't
know. As far as
Vegas, I remember
everything changed.
I thought Texas jeez. All right. Well,
no, I was there.
Yeah, we'll just edit this part out.
No, it's good. It's fine. It's fine. You guys do your own thing. It's cool. You know, I'll be around.
All you have to do is climb the ladder. That's it. Just climb up there.
You guys have barbed wire on the top of the ladder most of the time.
Well, that'll happen.
Mainly for me, but it's all good. All right, man. I'll let you get to it. Get some more PUBG in. And me too.
And then I have emails coming in right now, so I'm actually gonna have to work. Great.
Because we're probably hearing this live and they're watching it live, so.
That'd be sweet.
No, it's not live. I don't have that set up yet.
If it was, I would start yelling profanities out loud.
All right, man. Take care. Hope the family does well. I hope I see them in Chicago. Well, no, they're in Florida.
No,
are they gonna be there?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. I think, as of right now, I think my family's gonna be there, but I don't know. So we'll see.
We will see, and I will see you in Chicago.
Later, Tater.
Hey, see ya.
Thank you, Nick, for sitting down and talking with me. I had a great time, man. Enjoy your PUBG or your... Yeah, it's PUBG that you're playing. I'm so out of it. I have no idea. I don't play any video games or anything like that. About, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, I sold my Xbox and everything, and I couldn't get into it anymore. I had other stuff that I wanted to do, but I hear it's pretty addictive, and a bunch of people are playing it, though. But, it is what it is. People have their own things, to each their own. So, thank you, Nick. Anyway, I will see you soon, and safe travels. And a quick thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Carbon Paintball, who I mentioned in the beginning, if you guys are still listening, I mentioned in the beginning that they are having a small deal go on, where if you buy an SC harness, you will get a 6-pack of the SC thermal pods for free. That is a 6-pack for free. When you buy an SC harness, so check them out. And if you guys use the promo code capital TPOP, you'll get 10% off at your checkout. So thank you to Carbon. Also, big thank you to Mike over at Charm City Paintball, who is kicking out all the headgear that you see, multiple people wearing now, actually. So I know Rocky Nuth has some. Some of the guys on Aftershock have some. I have some. I wear a sweet American flag headband on my harness. So as a pack band, I also have pack bands available, but Mike hand sews every single one of those. So if you guys want to check out any of his work, go head over to Charm City Paintball on Facebook or Instagram, and you can see it all. So thank you, Mike. And we are also brought to you by Planet Eclipse, who are the monster paintball marker manufacturers and who have changed the game year over year in paintball, and who have done nothing but great things for the sport, and are very supportive in trying to find ways to change our sport for the good. And I like a company like that, and I really enjoy all the people in that company. I've had the pleasure of working with that company pretty much my entire professional career, and they're just good people, man. So if everybody's like, oh, Planet Eclipse is the most popular markers and everybody's shooting this, well, there's a reason. There's a reason why. It's because they're awesome. The markers are awesome. The product and the company is awesome. I enjoy them, and the EMEC is awesome. I'm pushing it because I enjoy it, and it's super fun. They're not telling me to push it, believe me. They want to push CS2s. They want to sell those things, but I'm just pushing the EMEC because they're amazing. But anyway, thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to everybody listening. Much appreciated. And this podcast, I don't know where it would be without you guys out there listening. I'm very, very grateful for everybody out there. So please, like I've said before, don't text and drive. Listen to podcasts. Keep your hands free and your eyes on the road. And we want everybody to come home. So thank you very much. And we will see you again here soon on the Playing On Podcast. Peace.